gone pink because I got embarrassed with the camera falling down. Hello, welcome to a new video. This week I'm getting the camper van ready for our next trip, well, our first trip of this year, which is so exciting and I cannot wait. We're going to the Cotswolds. I can't believe we are finally doing it. We've sort of been here and there. You might have seen very old videos of when I went to the Tewkesbury medieval fair and also Bath. You've probably seen a few times on this channel. That sort of just about counts. It's just in the southern end of the Cotswolds area. And what's that lovely town you always see on Instagram? Oh, what's it called? It's like the prettiest town in England. Let me find it. So we've come to a place called Castle Combe. Castle Combe, which you've just seen, has also appeared in one of my videos. Yeah, so pretty. So that captures Cotswolds, but really we've never really done it. We've never certainly done none of the sort of main areas. We sort of plan on doing it and then we think, oh, we should go to Oxford, and then we get sort of drawn towards Oxford, which is just slightly east of the area that we're going. Yes, anyway, watch the next vlog if you'd like to see that our camper van travels in the beautiful villages of the Cotswolds. So yeah, this week I'll be getting the camper van ready. We've got lots of cleaning, various bits and pieces still to do for that. So also, I've still got to plant the plants that I bought on my birthday, if you saw that vlog. I'm so terrible at this. I buy the plants and then I don't plant them. I'm so terrible. I want to buy the things, look at the beautifulness of them and then don't do the work. But I was out weeding yesterday and then it started raining, which was a shame because I finally got going. Yeah, me and Jude did get through a good patch of ground there though. The brambles are overtaking already, so there's always work to do in the garden, but it's quite nice to have some pretty flowers to plant. And also we've got the next show and tell instalment of what I've been doing in the Mastery Programme art course by the Milan Art Institute. So I thought I'd bring you along and I hope you enjoy watching. Here I'm just rust proofing the brackets for the big water tank that will go underneath the camper van. Okay, stay straight. The cows are back. I can see it dripping right through.
Alright, so silicone sealer it is.
Yeah. Okay, try number 2. Oh, I think it's alright. Yep, well done. Oh, you're gonna have some help. Yep, go on then. Yee!
Put the thing underneath.
Oh, so I'm just gonna go dripping out. Oh, that's so exciting! Okay. I can wash my hands at last. Oh, that's exciting. That is exciting. Oh, we need to start having a clean towel,
not a dog towel.
I'll have to give this wood another layer of wax. It's just going to get wet now. That's so cool. Completely forgot to film it, but I've just been gluing on the trim, the bark, I suppose, off of the waney edged wood because it was just coming apart just there, but it was worse along the edge of this table. So yeah, Chris was holding it open and I managed to get the glue in, the wood glue. It would be a shame to lose this lovely edge, particularly as I did all that work with the resin. Fingers crossed that'll do it. Merlin's enjoying being out here with us. Right on cue, right on cue. Looking forward to a holiday? Yeah? Oh, bit of Merlin content. We haven't had much Merlin content lately. I cannot believe it's time for this already. Here's the next segment of what I've been doing for the art course I've been doing, and I can't believe it's already been a month since last time I did this. I cannot believe it. So let me bring up the program schedule to can remember what to show you in the right order. So we're on the 3rd month, beginning with week 9. Gosh, I had forgotten I'd done this one. It's amazing how time is weird, and it already feels like so long ago I did this. So first of all was small scale realism using subtraction. So subtraction means rubbing out, basically, using an eraser. And here's my flower that I attempted for this. I want to practice flowers because I'd like to use them in my art more often, so that's why I'm picking flowers out of my choices of sources that we can choose from. The next thing was there was learning a bit more about graphite, which I felt could have been bit more useful perhaps earlier on in the course, but there we are. It was just using various bits of graphite, really. This was the first time though I used graphite powder, which was interesting, but I felt a little underwhelming. I thought I would perhaps get on with graphite powder, but it just sort of disappeared. Maybe I picked the wrong brand or something. It's just sort of, you know, you can hardly see it. So yeah, it's just sort of starting to get your own style with mark making. The next thing we did was small scale realism, and there's my oil painting. I liked the fact that we could choose a picture of artists' materials, because yeah, it just feels like a good choice of subject. So I quite enjoyed this one actually. So I think I managed to make it fairly realistic. Yeah, I think it turned out all right. I quite like that one. Oh my god, this is a shit hoover. It's really quite fun getting the camper van ready for the first time each year. It just, I don't know, it just fills you with so much anticipation of an adventure. And it just sort of reminds you of like the freedom of camper vanning and exploring. It really does bring out an adventurous spirit in you, and I just love that. And also, of course, it's the anticipation of a holiday, just getting away from everything and knowing that you're going to have a good time. And there is something about being in the camper van. I think I might have talked about this before, but there's something about being in the camper van that just makes time expand. You know, you can fit so much in a day when you're travelling from one place to another and visiting new places. It's just weird. And when you go away for a weekend, it feels like you've been gone a week at least, and so as we're going for a week it's going to feel even longer, which is just lovely. Week 10 was another week off. Of course I don't take the week off. I will do in May because of our week away. So the next lesson was directional marks on black canvas or paper you've painted. So I had to paint my paper with black acrylic, and the idea was to make it look very impressionistic, which I think I did, but I did struggle with this one. I spent a long time on it and I don't think I achieved a particularly good look. So there it is. Do you see what I mean? It's a bit blah. It's a bit meh, isn't it? Which I was a bit disappointed at because I'd like to do more landscapes. But I suppose perhaps just the style, the impressionist, because we looked at, you know, pointillism and, you know, how they do small marks. Yeah, which is quite interesting, learning things like you do longer strokes at the foreground and smaller strokes to show the background and things like that. So anyway, there was that one. The next thing we did was white china marker and pastel pencil on black paper. I did a cute cat. I had to pick the cat. It's so simple. Actually, when I was in the 3rd year juniors, so what's that, year 5, my sister had a cat calendar. I used to try to borrow it all the time, and I sort of learned how to do quite simple cat portraits, quite similar to this actually. I know I did quite a few with just doing simple little eyes and a little nose and whiskers and a few hairs, and you can get some quite good effects with the lighting like that. So I'm pleased with that. Chris wants me to do one of Merlin in that sort of style as well, so I'll give it a go. Rafiki! Rafiki! I'm trying to film! Shush! Yeah, talking to you. Oh, he's going to come over for a cuddle now. Such a fidget, this cat, aren't you? The next thing we did was doodle theory. It's all learning towards finding your own style. So this is the end result. So we just started off with this sort of grid pattern, and then we sort of just filled in the blanks. And then after this, I've actually got some, I think maybe we were just encouraged to fiddle around in our sketchbooks to make shapes and patterns, and so that's my little doodle there. Then we are on to week 12. So most of this week was about learning about foreshortening, which is like when perspective is like kind of off. So like my hands look massive there, even though they're only a little bit in front of me. So it's things like that. So that's a little sketch of my hand doing that. Now I don't think I got the angle right on this one, but it was quite tricky. Drawing with one hand and then posing your hand with the other hand. So that's meant, I think I was meant to do it a bit more further forward like that. I ended up doing it more like that. There we go, there's that. Then it was photographs and getting the hang of foreshortening. I enjoyed these, but it was quite difficult. I used that measuring tool again quite a lot because your brain does play tricks on you with these. And then that one, which looks completely out of proportion, but I did do the measurements over and over again. And then we did a bigger drawing. So this one was a bit more interesting. We had a picture of a person, and then there were some sort of abstract patterns that we could incorporate to create the whole picture. That was quite fun, actually. Well, before we go, I also need to get the plants planted that I bought on my birthday, because I don't want them drying out while we're away, because of course it's going to be wonderful weather. Fingers crossed. Fingers very much crossed. So that's my job for today. We've got two with horns this year. There we are. There's our three little new ones, and those are ones that I've planted in a previous year. So hopefully in the future I'll have a nice big display of pretty pale blues and pinks. I've just found a scourer sponge in the soil. No clue as to why. Also a very odd bit of metal, something or other. So this is I don't know how you pronounce that, Lavatura, Barnsley. Uh-oh, Merlin's just found a flower pot. Oh well, it will keep him amused for a little while. That's the problem. He's very cute. I can't believe how much the campanula has spread. I hope it flowers this year. I don't think it really flowered much last year. Anyway, I'm sort of running out of room. I buy these plants because I like the look of them, and then I bring them home and realise actually I've got nowhere to put them. So I mean, this flower bed is getting like wider and wider and wider. We did that week for our oil painting, 3 different paintings, all done in one session. First of all was white on white. Again, I tried a flower. I think I chose the wrong colour for the background. It's kind of better than I first thought. I was initially quite disappointed with this one, but it's actually okay. And I have to say, I loved mixing all the different colours within the petals. And then we did black on black. This one didn't turn out as good as I hoped, but it was sort of my own fault for trying to make things complicated. So there was a picture of a black cat with a black background. We've got our black cat Tinkerbell, and I sort of tried to put her face on the cat of the picture, which I don't know if it worked. So there's that one. I've got her eyes, but I think I've got her eyes too big. I don't know if you can see the shades in the blacks. I don't know if they're showing up on camera. Again, I do like colour mixing. I like creating all the darks. Lastly, we did a limited colour palette, so it's all blends of red and yellow and shades in between. And that, I think, turned out okay actually. Quite like that one. Oh, is that everything? Yes, it is. Phew! So there we are. There's my little update about my art course. It is so cool to have a sink in here now, it really is. But I can't remember if I've shown you this before because it actually happened last year. We do have signs of activity from insects, sadly. Look, those tiny little holes there. And then we've got a couple of big ones. I mean, that's huge there. And a couple in the bark. They've obviously liked the bark there, and there. The good news is, look, the wood glue worked really well and doesn't show. I was really worried it's going to be like really super shiny along here, but it's fine. So I've dug out at the bottom, at the back of the shed. I found some woodworm killer, so we're going to get that on. So I didn't really properly explain, but the goal was to actually have running water for the first time since the build of this van. It's about time. So yeah, Chris has done it so that you turn the tap one way for drinking water and the other way for water just to wash your hands in. So underneath here we've got that black tank is the wastewater and there's the drinking water. We're just going to buy these bottles that you can get from the supermarket and refill them with tap water from the kitchen and get a new one occasionally. We just thought that was one of the easiest ways. But the main water tank that's supposed to go underneath, well, we gave up on that because we couldn't get the van on the ramps. So instead we've got a big water tank at the back there that runs right through the van. That's the big bottle that we've got for washing hands and stuff, but we weren't really sure whether we'd risk that for drinking. So yeah. If you have found this video because you're thinking of taking the mastery program, say hello in the comments. If you're already taking it and are looking to see what other people have created, then also please say hello in the comments. I'd love to sort of connect that way. I suppose a little review of it so far, as I've only got 2 more weeks of using oil, of the drawing and oil section, which I think is mad. It's just going so fast already, which I sort of am finding quite exciting. I'm quite excited to move on to the next section, which is acrylics, mixed media and finding your voice. I'm excited about that, but also I kind of feel like I've not mastered these techniques yet. It's quite a fast pace course, which is great for me because I get bored really easily and so I'm really loving it for that reason. But if you prefer more in-depth learning and making sure you master each technique before moving on, then I would suggest you just perhaps schedule in a slower pace of work. Yeah, once you've finished paying for it, you can keep all the material and take as long as you need. I guess because we are given a range of sources we can use, if you went back and did the same section again but with a different source to copy, then your learning might be a bit more full, I suppose. So that's the only thing, is I've got 2 weeks left of oil and drawing, and I do feel I have massively improved in that short space of time, but still room to do better, which I guess is always the case really. But as far as fitting in the course around everything else, I'm not managing it as well as I'd hoped, I have to be honest. I thought I could do it all. I always think I can do it all, and then it turns out no, you're just a human like everybody else, and other things are getting sacrificed. Other things I'm a bit annoyed about as well, because before I took the course, which I think I mentioned at the beginning, it was a bit spur of the moment and I had other plans for this year, and those plans are just not now really happening, or they're happening but very, very, very slowly, which is a bit frustrating. And sometimes it kind of feels a bit overwhelming that by the end of this, and I'm already, like I said, I've only got 1 more month, that's a quarter of the way through, and it's like at the end of this we're supposed to be able to become a professional artist, and that's quite scary. That's quite scary in a way. Like, I don't know, it's a bit odd, and I really am hoping to become a professional artist, but at the same time I want to do all my other things as well. As usual, trying to do too many things. Hopefully I can figure out a way of doing everything, maybe just choose to do one bit at a time. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you're one of these people like me who can't decide what to focus on, you know? There's so many things I want to do. Okay, before I babble on too much, I will just say goodbye. Thank you for watching. I hope you haven't minded me rabbiting on about that. If you didn't mind, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share the link of my channel with your friends. I would really appreciate that. Okay, that's it from me. Take care. Hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!